Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 225 for November 17th to the 23rd. The RAN Sevens title went to Mexico, who qualified for the HSBC Sevens 3 tournament with that win. And New York was announced as a new host city for the HSBC 7 Series. In International 15s, Hong Kong lifted the Three Nations Cup after beating Belgium, while Georgia and Austria secured wins in the Europe Conference. On the domestic front, league leaders UL Bohemian and ASAM Romagnat maintained their perfect runs, and Women's Elite Rugby announced the return of its entire coaching staff for the 2026 season. I'm Wendy, here to bring you the latest in women's rugby news. This is your Women's Rugby Rundown, and we're about to kick off. Let's jump into International 15s news. Hong Kong clinched the Three Nations Cup by beating Belgium 15-7 in a tough final match playing in freezing conditions. After trailing 0-7 at halftime, the higher-ranked Hong Kong team showed incredible commitment and resilience in the second half, scoring 3 unconverted tries to secure the comeback victory and the cup. In the Europe Conference, Georgia delivered a dominating 43-0 shutout victory against Romania in Bucharest. Meanwhile, in the second match of the Women's Conference, Austria secured a comfortable 20-7 win over Czechia. These matches kicked off the season for the 8 registered teams in the Women's Conference. These matches will be a little bit more sporadic as each region is scheduling them, and there will be no rankings or a table. Moving to governance news, the New Zealand Rugby Board has appointed legendary 3-time World Cup winner Professor Dame Farah Palmer as its third representative on the World Rugby Council. Dame Farah's influence is immense, having captained the Black Ferns to their first 3 World Cup titles, and we know she'll be a powerful advocate for the global growth of the women's game. The Spanish Rugby Federation has hired Jesus Sons as the new head coach for the women's national team Les Leones. Sons, a French coach with major experience including a top run with top 14 champions Stade Toulousain, will lead the women's program toward the ambitious objective of qualifying for the 2029 World Cup in Australia. Finally, Sky Italia cemented its role as the home of elite rugby in Italy by renewing its commitment to broadcast every fixture of both the Guinness Men's Six Nations and the Guinness Women's Six Nations in 2026. This extensive coverage is particularly notable for the women's tournament, which will feature games in major stadiums across Europe to reflect the massive growth and engagement following the 2025 Rugby World Cup. Now let's shift the action to sevens. The RAN Sevens title was decided by a thrilling victory where Mexico claimed the championship by narrowly defeating Jamaica 22-19. This victory qualifies Mexico for the HSBC Sevens 3 tournament, while both the champions Mexico and runners-up Jamaica have earned spots at the upcoming Central American and Caribbean Games. Rounding out the podium for RAN Sevens, host nation Trinidad and Tobago secured third place with a commanding 27-0 shutout victory over Bermuda. Guyana successfully completed their long-awaited return to RAN Sevens after nearly a decade, securing a significant achievement by beating Barbados in the pool stage and then defeating them again 14-7 in the 5th place final. This performance marked the end of their comeback campaign and establishes a new foundation for the program. Egypt made their historical continental debut at the 2025 Africa Sevens, marking their first major event since achieving full World Rugby membership. The squad showed incredible growth, culminating in their first ever continental win against Ivory Coast to finish 10th. The new HSBC 7 season launches this weekend, featuring New Zealand defending the series title and Australia holding the most recent title, all while the massive Dubai Invitational Tournament kicks off right alongside the main event. Looking ahead, it was revealed where the HSBC 7 Series stop will be in America, and it's going to be in New York, March 14th to 15th, 2026 at Sports Illustrated Stadium. This move is a strategic step by World Rugby to boost the sports profile in the U.S. ahead of the LA 28 Olympics, the 2031 and 2033 Rugby World Cups. Finally, Kenya is on the brink of confirmation to host an HSBC Sevens Division 2 leg in February 2026, marking the first time the country would stage a World Rugby Sevens Series event. World Rugby officials are currently conducting a final assessment of facilities before announcing the decision within the next few weeks. The inaugural LIT Florida International Sevens Tournament is set to launch this Saturday, November 29th, at Premier Sports Campus in Bradenton, Florida, welcoming approximately 25 teams from across the United States. Following 13 years of successful Rugby Sevens events in Europe, including the massive LIT Super 7 series, organizers are thrilled to bring their expertise for the U.S. for the first time. They are also currently seeking under-18 girls to join teams for the action. Now let's take a look at domestic league action across the globe. In the Arnold Clark Premiership, both Stirling County and Watsonians, who have already locked up their spots in the grand final, secured wins in the penultimate round. Undefeated leaders County dominated Herreats 62-19, setting up a highly anticipated clash between the top two next weekend. Round 5 of the AXA Elite 1 saw league leaders ASM Romagnat continue their perfect run, defeating Lyon Lu 34-12 to maintain their top spot with a 5-win record. Meanwhile, in the same league, second place Stade Toulousain also kept up the pressure, dispatching Toulon 33-10, while Stade Bordelais secured a strong 32-12 victory over Blagnac. Across the Pacific, Round 6 of the BC Premier showcased some massive scorelines. Mariloma delivered the biggest win of the round, absolutely crushing Seattle 87-5. The Vancouver Thunderbirds also dominated with a huge 111 shutout over Abbotsford. The most competitive match saw Castaway Wanderers hang on for a thrilling 24-21 victory over Burnaby Lake, which pushed Castaway Wanderers into a three-way tie for the league lead. Finally, we look at the United States, where Women's Elite Rugby, the first professional U.S. Women's Rugby League, announced that they are retaining all 6 of their inaugural head coaches for the 2026 season starting in May. Also, they announced that player declarations for the 2026 season will officially begin on December 1st. Never miss one of our episodes. Women's Rugby Rundown is available anywhere you get your podcasts from.